What's up, everybody? Who Dat Comics and Movies with Boston Chris. Yes, sir. This is graphic content, episode 22, I believe. I could be wrong. I haven't checked on the numbers, but I know last one we did was 21. But this is a show, like I put it on Instagram, where we talk, comics, movies, TV, pop culture, everything, cons that you can think of that has a touch in comic book stuff. So hopefully everybody enjoys the show. I know we get a lot of watch back on Rewind, so please thumbs it up. If you have any questions for like the next show we do, put it in the comments and we could address those on the next show, because that'll be cool to get some different comments or some statements of stuff that we talked about today. The agenda is light, but it's very talkative to agenda. So all I'm going to say is, Chris, what news do you have about King Kong? Because you tagged me something today, and I had to tag some people too, so I can hopefully win.
Yeah. So the King Kong show is coming up in April. If you are going to be, or if you live in or near, or just can get to the New Jersey area, in the beginning of April, it's going to be, I think, potentially the first. I haven't looked at the calendar. Let me just check that out before I say it's the first Saturday in April. I think it would be. It's April 6th is this show, and it is going to be at the Marriott Park Ridge in Park Ridge, New Jersey. So, let me see. Yep, I was right. It's the first Saturday in April, and they have a pretty decent lineup.
So that's really soon. That's literally
it's
month
basically
away.
2 months. Yeah.
Well, no, because it's in April, right?
Yeah.
No, it's in 1 month. February, April.
No,
February, March.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm skipping a whole month. Please forgive me.
I was gonna say,
that's our anniversary. I skipped a whole month, but yes, it's 2 months. Literally exactly 2 months away. That's crazy.
Yeah. But
time's going by fast. That's all I'm gonna say. Time's going by fast.
Absolutely. There's gonna be a lot of really good vendors there. Members of the community, along with actual comic shops and everything. And
I heard it's basically like you. I think you told me this, and I think you mentioned it many times. It's basically just a comic con. It's comic book, and it's just like it's comic book dealers, artists, writers. Basically, that's it. That's it.
Yeah, and it's basically like community people too. So it's just like, I mean, it's one of those things where you kind of go in, and last year's show was really it was really good in that way, just because it was just basically let's see. So we had some guys from the New York Warriors. We had 3 Men in the Basement. Was it Pressable Defects? Me, Amazing Marfinator. Was it our buddy Sean? And Very Gary, and just a bunch of different people.
Comic Journey.
Yeah, Comic Journey came in. So he came in on the actual Sunday of the show.
Okay.
But it was but we were there staying overnight and everything like that. So we just met up with a bunch of people and just kind of hung out there. But it was it was just us. So it was like the artists that were there were just like hanging out with us. So it was just Johnny Desjardins was there, and Ryan Gary Brown. And so it's like, and in most cases when you go to conventions, it's like you just kind of, all right, like I see the guy, and maybe you walk by them in the hall or something like that. Like, no, we were literally, we had dinner with these guys. Like we would just sit there just talking, just hanging out with these guys all weekend. And then Mark Morales, same deal. It's just like, I mean, wow, this is pretty cool. And so it was a great time.
Yeah, I saw Mark Morales from Very Gary, because I follow a lot of people on Whatnot.
Yep.
And he was basically hanging out with Mark Morales on Whatnot, and he sold some. He sold some books with remarks from Mark. And I'd say Mark Morales does some great remarks.
Yeah.
And, I mean, for what he does, like it's nice. I mean, it's basically, it's not a remark. I would call it. It's almost like a mini sketch. But yeah, and he was selling those he started to bid at cost.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so he wasn't officially making any money yet. And those people
eventually.
So you could have got some stuff from him on that. I remember that King Kong. You got some stuff from him.
Yeah.
Basically what he paid for Mark to do it, and if you wanted to grade it, I think a lot of them got 9 each too.
That was actually a really fun show. I remember that. That was the that was so they went live, and it was after, I think it was like after day one of the show. It might have been day one. And so we were gonna just sit in the room, and that and we were there, and it was, I remember Ryan Gary Brown was on for a little bit, and then Mark Morales came in, and they started doing, so they were just kind of doing their thing, and then at one point Gary's like, I think I could do that. He's like, you think you could draw that? He says, go ahead. He's like, why don't you try to draw a Ninja Turtle? So him and Murph kind of had a sketch off in the middle of this live thing. And I think that Murph's sketch, I'm almost positive it ended up selling for like $20. Like someone's like, oh, he's like, you want original art from Amazing Murph? Nita? Go ahead and put it in there. He's like, let's see the bids. And he made he didn't make it, but like the thing was like $20 for that sketch. So that was pretty fun. But I mean, that's just the kind of like the random things that go on. But this year they have it. It's in a place that I want to say is northern New Jersey, which is nice because if you're coming from New York, it's not as far as a drive. And they have a really good lineup of artists too this year. Like I think they got Klaus Jansen's coming, Lee Weeks is coming, Dan Parent is coming. Who else did they say it was going?
Klaus is awesome because he has so much stuff he worked on, so much stuff.
Oh yeah, and it's just like, I mean, it's crazy when you think about that. Where it's just like,
Kenneth,
like Klaus Jansen's gonna be there, and so everybody's got like books like, oh, like I can get this signed by him, that signed by him, but in the spirit of all that, it's just like you have also ahead of the show they're doing a giveaway. So if you go to their Instagram, which is King Kon Show, so not King Kong, no G, so King Kon Show, and you go to their Instagram, they're doing what's called the King Kon 5 Cosmic Giveaway, and it's for a CBCS 5.5, a Silver Surfer 1 CBCS 5.5. So great book. I mean, you're getting a really, really awesome slab potentially to be able to enter in for, and hopefully somebody wins. Hopefully me. I would like a book, but if not, somebody's gonna get a really, really awesome key.
And I think some of the sponsors who I guess sponsored, I guess put money towards those books so they can do it. I know Erod's one of them. DJ Links. I forgot who else. I think he DJ Links. There's a few others. Like that. So like shout out to those guys as well. King Kong for doing it. One thing, this is the thing I actually would, if I would give them this idea, and they could take it and they could not take it. This is my idea for them to do it, the giveaway next year. Or they can even do it this year because it's time. But next year, instead of a book, because that book is not cheap in that grade.
Oh, not at all.
Instead of a book, how about do a contest where you pay for somebody to come to King Kong?
Well,
to have that experience. And all reason I say that. Yeah, and I'm not talking about pay for everything, not food and all that stuff.
No, obviously.
Like I would say just if they, fly out, bus, depends on what they like, because not everybody likes to fly. It could be bus, train, or whatever's the best route, and maybe hotel lodge. That's just an idea I thought about, because since they're a comic con, meaning what I'm saying, I say it like that, people mean comic centric, meaning comic books and artists and stuff like that, and dealers. That would actually be pretty cool, because I don't see myself. I don't see myself going to that convention until I'm a lot older, and I have free time. Maybe my daughter's out of the house, so you're talking about like 10 years from now. I would be more free to go to that convention. But if I won that would give me leeway to go to that convention early. You know what I mean? Just because all I would have to do is take off of work. So that's just the idea.
Yeah, I mean, I think that when it comes to what's going on, Chef, something like that. I mean, I don't know if they would necessarily do the travel part, but I could see them doing. I mean, if they were to change it up, because the ticket's cheap. The ticket is not expensive. It's actually, I would say, if you have the ability to get down there, especially if you live within that area, I think it's like a $25 ticket or something stupid. So it's a very, very, very affordable ticket to get into the show.
Or they
So
can
if you're local,
or they could do it like say maybe not travel. What about like we will cover
like
travel expense up to this amount?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I would say just to stay like if it's like all right, you get a hotel room or something like that, like that's fine. That I could see them doing. But I was gonna say if you're local to that area, like that show is an absolute treat because of the fact that it's such a cheap ticket and it's literally
you get to meet a lot of people like you've been saying.
Yeah, absolutely. You're gonna meet a ton of
people. A lot of people talk about what's the other convention? Heroes. Mm-hmm. But I think King Con would be, and I know people this I'm using this word because of the meaning of this word. King Con would be more intimate of a convention, meaning I would actually get to hang out with people, be like really face to face with people, not like in other venues. I like you bump into people like all over the place or hang out with people all over the place. Like Heroes Con, I think you can do some of that with your friends.
Yeah.
And other people you'd be like, oh, how you doing? And then y'all would maybe try to avoid each other or something. Like, you know what I mean? It's weird. You don't know how to say
it. Like I only went last year and my experience with it last year was awesome just because it was like, I mean, like I knew pretty much everybody who I had, bumped into and everything like that. So it's like, but like when we all met up, it was just like, I mean, it literally was just like, I want to say, so after the first night of the show, our first like actual like dinner, hanging out together and everything was legitimately in the restaurant in that hotel. It was just like they put like all the tables together and it was like literally like 30 people that are all community people that are all, Instagram, everything, Instagram, YouTube guys that are just sitting there chilling. And I remember, was it the Butcher sitting there and he's like, this reminds me of Batman. Let's go. And he's having dinner with Vicky Vale. He's like, is that you, Sugar Bums? Like he kept just saying that all the time. Like, is that you, Sugar Bums? But it was fun. It was just like literally like all of us just chilling in one spot. And then, and it was just like, everybody hung out, everybody had a good time. And, the other thing I would say too, is that like, if you have the ability, if you can go, I mean, it's just like, I mean, when you're talking about books, I mean, there's just, I would say I didn't see any Amazing Fantasy 15s or anything like that, but there's just so many good vendors. With
but I guarantee I guarantee out of all those people, somebody knows somebody.
Actually, no, I'm wrong. You know why I didn't see it? Because somebody bought it. I remember that. That guy, yes. I remember there was an AF-15, the guy bought it just on a whim out of nowhere. And the guy had plenty of money. And he just, like it was one of the community guys. He just sat there and just snatched it up. And he was just happy, like, that weekend for him was him just living his best life. And then it was funny, his one of the guys like, he's like, it's gonna be fun when he goes home and tells his wife how much he spent on that damn book. He's like, because he bought it off very Gary. I remember that. And Gary had to tell him, like, dude, he's like, are you sure you want to do this? He's like, yeah, I'm doing it right now. I'm buying it. That's what I'm doing. Okay. And he was like all like he wasn't drunk or anything like that, but he was just all just like, just like he was all excited to like get it. So it was just like one of those like really big impulse buys that he was like, do you want to think about this for a second? Like, nah, I got it. Doing it right now. So it was just one of those things where it's just like, I feel like books all over that place.
Yeah, I feel like that convention, and I'll say, and I don't know Heroes Con. I only know what people tell me. I feel like that convention would probably be even better than Heroes Con as far as getting deals because of the, maybe the less expensive way, the dealer, maybe the tables and the tickets, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, it's just like there was a couple places.
Can't wait to sit down and read.
Yeah, I mean, there was some people that were sticking to their guns, and there was a few. There was one guy who was like, everything's negotiable. He's like, if you see something you like, you let me know, and then we'll figure it out from there. He's like, that's the prices on a sticker. He's like, if you have a better idea of what that price should be, you tell me and we'll talk about it. I was like, okay. So I mean, it was just a good time like that. So I was like, there were people that were just, regularly flexible. Then there was at Streetside Anthony was there, and he gave me a couple books. He's like, oh, he's like, you getting these spawns? Like, like, I was like, yeah, I'm trying to complete this run. I need these ones here. So he's like, they're yours. Just go for it. Just don't worry about it. It's like, you bought this other thing. Like, I bought something from him for like $10. I was like, I should probably get these too. He's like, they're yours. They're yours. I'm like, oh, okay. So it's just like one of those deals where it's just like everybody's cool. Everybody just is there for a good time, and it's just an amazing place to be if you if you're looking for books. Like you find just about anything. Like, so if you need stuff to complete a run or something like that, like you could find it. You can easily find it. The hardest part is not spending your money all at once. That's the one thing I can sit there and say, like, oh, I went broke 15 minutes after I walked in the door. But Michael Baker said
that to me, that was, I saw what he said. He said great packaging on my books.
Yeah,
can't wait to sit down and read them. That's
I was waiting on him to be like, so much tape.
Yeah, and I would say shout out to Michael Baker and people who actually let us know that we package stuff well. I had a few comments. I had a few DMs like similar to what he's saying. One actually, I don't know if you saw. Speaking of selling stuff, did you see? I sold something to Dave Seeking Near Mint.
Oh, I
didn't.
Did
you see that on Instagram?
No, I haven't been paying a lot of attention, so I wish.
Yeah, so I had a book on Facebook, not Facebook, eBay. I don't know why I said Facebook. I had a book on eBay. Guy sent me a decent offer. I didn't have a lot into the book, so I was thinking about it, but I wanted a little bit more because of the PayPal fees, right? But on the other end, he was thinking about the PayPal taxes and the shipping and stuff like that. So when he found out, I kind of been sneakily, like, I'll leave a message like saying, thank you for looking, blah, 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 who that? And I'll put who that on it, or I'll put who that comics. I'm trying not to do it all, like, not trying to do who that comics all the time, but because eBay's AI is funny. So I just, like, I've been putting who that, because if the people know me, like, if they know it, they'll know it's me. Or they'll put 2 and 2, or maybe X. So it ended up being him. He sent me I sent him a message on Instagram. I said, hey, is that you? Blah. He said, oh yeah. He goes, yeah, man, that Star Trek book is a book I've been after. That sucker is hard. It's so hard to like find in a 9.8. And it's it's not hard to find it raw, but you're gonna pay up for it normally for it raw. But it's like I said, there's only 3 on the census in a 9.8. So he was like, man, I really want it, blah, blah, blah. So we made a deal off of eBay. He got free shipping, which, on eBay he would have to pay, and he'd have to pay the taxes and all that other stuff. So we ended up striking a deal on that, and that was actually cool. Somebody that I know, and we never done shows together, but we crossed paths. So it's kind of cool to somebody we crossed paths before, and he actually sold something to us. So I was more than happy to make a deal with them. What's up, Emmy? And I don't think I shouted you out. And he said that's awesome. I agree and disagree about that statement, because I agree, yes, because of the fees, but Emmy, people are buying on eBay. I'm hate to say, they paying more than you would offer it on YouTube. So, like, for example, I don't have this one up, but I have this one. Speaking of Ryan Brown, this is I think it's a Rod and Very Gary book. So I got this one on eBay. Which I might post either or. But I got this on eBay for more than I offered it on YouTube. And I have 5 people watching it without promoting it on eBay.
Yeah.
So what that tells me is I'm probably gonna eventually sell it, and it's gonna be for like $70 more than I offered it on YouTube. I mean, so it's like I was actually about to say exactly what you said. It's a necessary evil. I hate to say
well,
it's a necessary evil.
I look at it like this: as far as
Michael said he was going to buy it, he almost bought it from me the other night.
I think honestly that it's a good way of counteracting Whatnot, because Whatnot really kind of cut into a lot of that type of stuff, and you got to see just how, I guess, not underhanded, but you got to see how just crazy, or basically how they don't really police their own stuff. So it was the Wild West, and people were just doing all kinds of like just random things. Like you have good sellers on there, and you have just sellers that are out there just to squeeze every dime they can out of you. And so it's just like it's something where it's just like the buyer protection I don't think exists as well on something like Whatnot. Whereas eBay is just like you have that, and there's no worries about any of that type of stuff. Like if somebody
I had a couple of issues on Whatnot I can actually attest to, and I don't know what their buyer protection is, but they actually gave me all my money back on I think the couple of issues I had, and told me to keep the item.
All right. I mean,
but that's what they did. I mean, I took pictures and blah, blah.
I don't know if that's on the individual.
I don't know if that depends on the individual or depends on the situation or what happened with Whatnot. But that's what happened with my two situations on Whatnot. And after the second one, I haven't really bought anything from Whatnot as far as comic side. I've done stuff on the sports card side. That's how I got that Emmitt Smith autograph card, but. But that was only actually one time ever since those incidents. So I stopped kind of going over there because it can get kind of crazy at times on certain people's shows. But I've also seen on certain people's shows, they'll have like a lot of people watching it, but nobody's bidding, and you can get steals on books. And matter of fact, I actually have one of them right here. Like, I think it's not easy to find, but yeah, I got a book here. It's actually autographed by Kevin Eastman. But I don't have it right. I can't easily find it. But I ended up getting that book for like under $20. And it was a third print Batman in TMNT. I think the first go around, well, maybe the second go around. But it's the third print, which is super rare. And it was autographed by Kevin Eastman, and I got it for under $20. If anybody knows, Kevin Eastman didn't charge under $20 for his autograph.
I think at the show I went to, he was like 25.
Yeah, I think normally he's 25, and I think that probably depends on the show. Let's be honest. A lot of these artists, writers, and stuff like that, it depends on the show. I believe because they change prices. Yep. And they don't want you to take pictures of stuff to prove that they have different prices.
Yeah,
but
I don't think I've seen too much of that, but I have seen people. I have seen that like the opposite of that, where I haven't seen anyone say don't take a picture of this. I've seen people, sit there, take a picture of some of these prices and stuff like that, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, wait a minute, and I think sometimes it gets put out before they get there, like, oh, I've gone up on these, hold on, and then so they'll sit there and they'll come back and they'll put like a little piece of paper over it and says, this is actually what it costs for these things. So it's like, oh,
yeah, okay. like what's his name? Arthur Sudan. Yahweh met him. Yahweh he really like one of his favorite artists is Arthur Sudan. So he had Arthur Sudan do a sign and remark his first appearance of Lady Deadpool book, and he only charged him $90 for a sign and remark, and it was a good remark. It was really good. He did like a Lady Deadpool head, and I have to say. I think he could have charged at least $150. So what that makes me think that he might charge a little bit more at other places, but it was only $90 for us.
That's not bad.
Yeah, and I think he let him get no, he didn't let him get a print. But no, did he get a print? I can't remember. But no, I don't think he got a print. But he just charged him $90 for a remark. And I want to say the cheapest remark I've gotten, which was actually not bad for a remark in the signature, was Art Germ, and that was in Dallas. And it was $130. And I think Art Germ would be way more than that, in my opinion. Yeah. And which I've heard stories that he's like, way above that. Also, you go to CGC, he's like $200, I think, or more for the remark, and he doesn't do that many. He doesn't do that many when he's at CGC, but when he's at a show, shit, he'll knock one out. If every person wants one, he'll do it because he's getting the money straight up,
Yeah.
But so that's just that's pretty cool. Yes, indeed. So, we had some other things come out, and I just thought about it. Besides the stuff we were going to talk about, but they had some news about some casting for Supergirl.
Oh yeah, I saw that
The
yesterday.
girl, what's her name from was it is she on House of the Dragon? I think. She
I'm not sure.
on she's on other show, but maybe
I
somebody in
know her
chat
name
knows.
is kind of hard to pronounce. I saw the name. I
Yeah,
was like, I can't read this name.
well,
This
she's
name is
on the
crazy.
HBO. She's on the HBO show, if I'm not mistaken. So somebody could tell us exactly. I don't know how to say her name, but I know she's on one of those shows, right? Um, the biggest issue I have with her casting is that she's very small. She's very tiny. Um, I, I want to say she's in the 5'2" or 5'3" range. Somebody said it like when they casted her. It's like great, a Supergirl who's tiny.
Hold on. So they said
Millie Alcock. Alcock.
Millie Alcock,
Yeah.
which it says House of Dragons actress. So
Okay.
I'm just not
So
sure
I'm
which one.
assuming
Oh,
I'm sure
she
she's
was
the
the
daughter.
yeah she was the girl in the beginning of the show. Because I think towards I think what they do is and I haven't seen all of House of the Dragon, but I think that it skips ahead. So from when she's a child to when she's an adult, like partway. So they skip a bunch.
I think she, well, in that time frame in that show, she's still considered she's like considered an adult. I think,
Yeah,
because they like they kind of like talking about because she's not married yet, or not, you know what I mean, or had been
yeah,
bearing child, or yeah. So she's above the age with, I hate to say it like that. She's older than 13, but I don't know
yeah.
if she's eight. I don't know if she's playing an 18-year-old in the show. That's
Well,
what I'm
what I
trying to say.
mean by that is that so the actress that plays her, I guess before she's wedded and everything like that, that's the girl that they picked,
Uh,
not the one that not the actress that plays her as she's like an adult or whatever.
yeah, I agree with that comment because she looked the part. Thinks she was short as well, but she looked the part as far as her body.
Yeah, and she was
Yeah,
also the she
yeah.
was the dark haired version of Supergirl, which I think that you see that more in the Batman Superman one, almost like she's a clone or something like that. She's not the same. She's not. It's not the same as Kara, but it's just all you have to do is just dye her hair blonde, and then she's like, all right, there you go. There's your Supergirl or whatever, or you just keep it as the same one. But I just think the I don't think it's a bad casting. I haven't
No,
really
no,
seen it.
I don't think it's a bad casting.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what she like. I mean, I haven't really even seen much of that. I think I saw like one episode, just because
Yeah,
I just didn't have
I
time for it.
tried to watch as many episodes as I could of House of the Dragon. Um, I couldn't. I didn't. I don't even think I got halfway. And it
Yeah.
wasn't because of her. I actually liked
No,
her
no.
acting in the show. I don't know. Sometimes shows are not for you. And like I
But
said, House of the Dragon, I didn't feel like it was for me. Not meaning it wasn't good. I just didn't. I couldn't get into it.
my
Um,
thing with that show, the
yeah.
reason I stopped watching it is because Jeffrey Baratheon pretty much tells you what happens to her. I think it was in season 3 or 4 of Game of Thrones. He's like, oh, it's like Rhaenyra Targaryen. She's like, there's her bones right there. Her dragon burned her alive. I'm like, oh, that. So I mean, and it was like, wait. So it's just like everyone's like, oh, like this girl is great. I can't wait to see what happens to her. It's like she is roasted with her kids. Like that. That's how they take care of her. Like that's the end of that. So, and really, I mean, it's just like if you pay attention if you paid attention to Game of Thrones, and then as soon as you heard Rhaenyra, I'm like, oh, that's the one that got. I was like, well, there's no really reason to watch this. Like I know what's gonna happen to her, but I know it's about everything else that leads
You
to it.
know the end game.
Yeah, I already know. So she's gonna get betrayed, or something's gonna I think she gets betrayed by her family, unfortunately, just because the show is all about the different Targaryens through the show. So I think that somebody must turn on somebody, and then that's what happens. And I really think that Game of Thrones really suffers badly from any new show you try to do with it always will suffer from the fact that how the other show ended. That I really think is why the viewership isn't as it's not as you know the viewership isn't up as high as it would have been.
And,
like
yeah,
Game
and
of
it's a
Thrones
and it's a
ended
prequel.
great.
Yeah, and it's a prequel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it had a better ending that people really liked, then yeah, there would have been a lot of buzz for this new show, and there would have been like, oh, like I got to see this prequel because this is going to be pretty cool. But I mean, I think that just a lot of people just don't want to attach themselves to the show again just to see if it have a subpar ending again, which you know, it's been a long time.
Well,
so I mean,
I think they're doing. I think they're doing a season 2, right?
I'm sure they wanted to.
Yeah, I don't know because I haven't kept up with the other one. But I'm with you, Michael Baker. I'm gonna give her a chance.
But it's gonna be tough.
I'm gonna give her and I agree it's gonna be tough because when another person actually does the role, does very well with the role, and she was like intimidating, you know what I mean, like fighting and all that stuff. Not we're not talking about any CGI stuff. We're just saying how, to me, and once she got the power of the sun and got on her feet, it was like, okay, I don't want to mess with her,
Yeah.
But I'm curious to see how they're gonna do, like, because the Superman actor and then the Supergirl actress, they're not big people as far as like intimidation factors. They're not.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if they're just gonna say, oh, like, because if the sun makes you, make them super human, to me, you should look bigger as well. You know what I mean?
I think that the one thing that they kind of get away with on that one, especially with her character, is that you can cast someone smaller because they could easily be like, well, it's not Power Girl, so it doesn't have to be somebody who's like, and that's, I think, the one saving grace they have with that, because if they were like, oh, she's gonna be Power Girl, like, no, she's not. like she's gonna gain another 50 pounds up top for her to be some.
Then she has to gain another 50 pounds everywhere else.
It's like at that point, that's when you go to like WWE, like Rhea Ripley. You want to be Power Girl, because I mean, like, and even even that would be kind of like, I mean, she's got the size for everything else, but it's just like, chest wise, it's like we'll do some CGI to get that looking the way it should. But other than that,
and then sometimes when Rhea moves, she's kind of stiff. So
yeah.
But that's because she's so big, muscular wise.
Yeah. I definitely agree with you.
So I'm gonna give her a chance. I give all movies because I'm a movie person a chance. So I think she'll act well. I'm just curious to see how this movie's gonna go. I'm because I know what James Gunn has done, and I don't know the Superman aspect. If I'd have thought he would write anything besides the Suicide Squad, I would think he would do. I'm trying to think right now. Green Lantern.
I can see that.
I can see James Gunn doing a Green Lantern, and I can actually see him doing very well Green Lantern.
I want to see his filmography real quick just to see if he's done anything that is kind of serious, because like it seems to me like I don't think he's done much. That's why I'm always kind of like, what's going on with this? So let me see something.
I don't think he's done too much serious. Oh, and while you look that up, a movie that I'm looking forward to actually comes out in 2 weeks. They're doing premieres all over the world. I encourage a lot of people to go see it if you're into music or if you're into larger than life people, which is the One Love Bob Marley movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually going to see that over. I forgot what movie else is coming out. It's like a superhero movie. That Spider not Spider Girl, but
Madam Web.
Madam Web. I think that comes out the same weekend. One Love Bob Marley movie is projected to be Madam Web.
Yeah. They're saying Bob Marley's going to destroy that movie.
Yeah. I'm actually one of the people who are actually going to choose Bob Marley movie over.
I would just do potentially, if I had the time, I would just do a double feature on it. But I mean, if it's running, I don't think that Madam Web's going to be in the theaters for too long, to be honest with you.
If I had the time, I would. Yeah, I would too.
Yeah. It's not a knock. I'll say this much: I don't think it's really a knock on the MCU specifically for that. It's just it's like we all know
it's
that
a knock
not
on
a traditional
Sony
MCU
trying to
movie.
do that.
It's what's it called, Sony movie trying to. So it's just like, in the same vein of like you can't blame the MCU for Morbius, and Morbius wasn't that good of a movie as far as box office and everything else. It just wasn't anything that people are like, oh my god. So the Sony movies have always been kind of weaker, and this is probably going to follow suit with that, unfortunately, because I mean, Madam Web is a tough character to sell for me, at least, because it's like she herself was never like anything that was like so crazy, other than she was just like, no, I connect the real heroes to these things, like I can tell you how the web of fate works and everything like that, like so she was more of a mentor character than an actual like driving force. And it's just like, okay, so she helped mentor Spider-Man into knowing what he had to do and everything like that. But when it comes to that or Bob Marley, I mean, come on, man. Like, I mean, really, honestly, a Bob Marley movie where it's just like, yeah, it's a biopic of one of the most iconic musicians in history. Like, there's you're not going to beat that.
I got a feeling, because I'm going to try to see it opening weekend. I got a feeling the theater's going to be packed.
Yeah, because I mean, there hasn't really been any movie about him. I don't think there's been any movie about his life other than documentary.
And this is actually produced by his family.
Yeah.
So his son Ziggy, I think one of his daughters is a producer. And they have friends and family. They got historians. So they got, this movie is probably going to be. They probably had to cut stuff out because how much they wanted to put in and accurate. The movie probably was supposed to be like 4 hours, but they probably cut a lot. I'm excited to see that one. So, but the Madam Web, I'm probably gonna, since I have AMC A-list, I'll probably end up seeing Madam Web like at like 2:00 or something before I have to get my daughter from school and knocking it out. And
Michael Baker's comment is good.
Let me see what it says. It says, my wife saw the TV ad for Madam Web and said, "Hey, I want to see that. This woman hasn't seen a Marvel movie since Eternals." Hey, well, I'm gonna leave this up for a minute. But to answer Michael Baker, I love that she does. I'm saying I love that she does. And I'm sad that I don't know if the movie's gonna be good, because your wife and others is what the superhero movie genre want to gain.
Yeah.
They do want to gain it. And if they do it right, they can gain those people and make the people like us happy as well. Problem is they haven't been making us happy, but they're making your other people who want to see it, and you really might not want to see it. And then y'all go see it, and then it's not a good movie, and then she doesn't want to go see another movie like that again.
Either
and
that,
you're getting turned off too. So,
or she's someone who's not really into these things, and someone's like, "Oh, like I want to go see Madam Web," and someone that is into that shit, like, "Oh, that movie sucked," and then it just discourages them from wanting to go see anything else, because they're like, you know what, these movies are stupid. I don't want to see them. But yeah, if it's not if put it this way, if she wants to see it and doesn't enjoy it, then that's a quick way of losing.
Well, if she wants to see it, if she actually wants to see it and she doesn't enjoy it, that's a loss on Sony's part. That's a loss on Sony's part. Yeah, so
and that bleeds over into the regular MCU as well, because they're like, oh, let's just see that it was a Marvel,
and then it bleeds into DC as well. Because that's why a lot of DC movies have been doing good. If people, it's like, all right, I'll use a simple sports analogy. All right, so if you go into a basketball game currently, or you could even say a football game. Let's say a football game. Patrick Mahomes is probably the best quarterback in the league currently.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we've been seeing Patrick Mahomes, and then they're like, oh man, let's see this up and comer, like this other guy who's actually really good. Let's say he has a crappy game you go to, you're not gonna want to go to another game. It's like you're not gonna go see another. Not when he's playing. So it's like that's the same thing with Sony. You go see the bad Sony. You're not going to want to go see another Sony movie. Not when they're playing. Not when they're in total control. He said, I think the draw was she recognized Dakota Johnson. All right. Well, that
makes sense.
That's why that might be why they casted her in this role. I'm just putting it out there. Yeah, might be why.
That can make some sense. when I was looking actually for the James Gunn films, I wanted to see so what serious movies has he made? So for those of us who are looking and saying, oh, like, well, he's probably done serious stuff before, and I'm sure he's got a wonderful body of work where some serious movies like legitimately are in there. And I think the only one that I recognized right away from just looking at it was Brightburn. Brightburn.
Oh, he did that movie?
Yeah. So Brightburn is basically it's the, I guess they just said the comparison they gave was like Superman if it was like explicit or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like a violent version of Superman, which okay, but that's really not much to go on if you're trying to make an actual Superman movie. So I'm sure he's gonna have to, he's gonna have to go a different direction from what he normally does, just because Superman cracking jokes really isn't what you would have him do. You know what I mean? I mean, it just doesn't work for his character the way he always is. I look at it whereas I'm sure James Gunn is capable of making something like that. It's just, it's a departure from everything else that he's ever really done. Like I mean, I look at his filmography. There's like Scooby Doo. There's The Guardians, Dawn of the Dead. Which all right, so I'll
was
give
good.
that.
Dawn of the Dead was good. That was good.
But he only so he did the screenplay, and it was
he wrote
Snyder's debut movie. Yeah, he did the screenplay for the remake. But that's the thing though. He was basically doing a screenplay for something new. I was like, all right, well, let me go ahead and write on this one. I mean, the good thing. Oh no, he didn't write Brightburn. Oh wow, so that's kind of a tough one there. I didn't see that. He produced it. But he didn't write.
Oh yeah, he didn't write. I remember that. He just produced it because he always wanted to do a Superman movie, and this was the closest thing he thought at the time that he would get to for Superman. Because he was Marvel. He was with Marvel. He couldn't do DC.
Yeah.
What's up, Splash?
I wonder now. So I mean, it's kind of I'm gonna say this much. It's gonna be interesting to see what he does with it, just because in terms of everything, like he's written just about everything he's worked on, which is good, in that way. Where it's like, all right, so he can write a screenplay, he can do it, and that's good. Just a superhero movie like that, a Superman movie, might be a little bit of a challenge. So I think it's gonna be more interesting to see what comes out. And I think I would say to anybody, when the trailer comes out, like, don't trust the trailer because you don't know. Like, the trailer is going to show you a lot of different stuff. Like that one, you probably have to go ahead and sit and see it. And if it ends up being, put it this way, if it's successful, if it does well, and if people like it, that's gonna set him up.
You know what I think what's going to happen with that movie ultimately, because a lot, I think there's a mixed reaction on the casting. So, meaning that it's not all bad, not all good. It's like in the middle. But I think what's going to happen is you're going to have people, I think we're going to see it, but I don't think everybody's going to see it. And I think depending on how good it is, that's going to be a word of mouth movie and or a critic movie. Like if it has good critic ratings and word of mouth is good, and it's the second weekend might be bigger than the first weekend.
I think honestly, that what's going to happen. I mean, obviously. I think if it has a good critical acclaim, you might see the opposite, where people be like, "This movie fucking sucks," just because of that. Because a lot of times, people will disagree with the critics because it's just fun to do, or it's just one of those things where it's like, the critics said it was a strong story, but what do they know? They're not really one of us in that way. So I say, on that one, it's going to be interesting to see. But if it does end up being successful, as far as if a lot of people like universally like it, like you said, he's going to be all set. Like there'll be no more like James Gunn doesn't know what he's doing. Like that he will be untouchable for a while, I think, in the DC part of things, until there's a big flop.
Yeah, I'll say this: the critic rating will matter if the critic rating is high. Meaning, like if it's in the 90s, then people are definitely going to see it. Now, the critic ratings fluttering in the 60s, people are going to be like, I'll go see it. They're going to wait for the audience. But I think people are going to see James Gunn. Let me give a quick shout out to He Who Remains. Thank you very much. Yes, I'm in the new age bracket on surveys of 40 to War.
Yep.
Thank you very much. And to quickly answer Tone's question, I have no idea. I don't know much about the video game or anything about the controversy. If he does, he can speak on it. I have nothing about video game. I have no idea.
I think let me say this much.
I think
without really specifically spoiling it full out, Rocksteady, built up the Batman franchise with the Arkham games, and so Rocksteady is making this game, and they're going to have an ending for Batman, and in terms of it I think kind of goes a little bit unceremonious when you look back at all the Arkham games and everything, how it went. It's just kind of like why would you go this route with this character like this, like where it's just like it just is pretty crazy that you're going to go ahead and end it like this. So I think that when it comes down to it, it makes sense that they were going to. I think that what they didn't do is give it the final appearance that it needs, like, because it's Kevin Conroy's last appearance doing anything with Batman, unfortunately, because he's not with us anymore, but that was his last thing doing with Batman. And it's been and the game itself was in production for like something like 10 years or something like that. It was a long time. So it's just like I think you kind of have a little bit of that whole thing of like, did they know he was gonna pass on? No, obviously. So I mean, but to with that being said, though, I think that that's what is fueling a lot of the controversy, is that there's no way for them to really redeem what they did, and that's how they sent off a guy that basically put them on the map the way that those Arkham games did. So, I think that, in my opinion, I have to see it before I can really say like, oh, okay, like I'd have to play it and see it out. Like I can tell I'm not gonna like it just because I love the Arkham games. Like Arkham Asylum was an incredible game. Like I love that game. And of the three, Arkham City is still my favorite out of those. So like honestly, being able to go around the entire city like that was incredible. I say the fight with Poison Ivy in the Arkham Asylum game is still one of my favorite boss fights of all time. That was just a great game, and the way that they did it, the way that they jumped into the Batman lore was incredible. And yeah, I agree with you that you really, because it exists outside of that. I think that I don't think it should be considered canon. If it's from what they said, it shouldn't be, just because it's like
it should be just Elseworld, like some of the stuff they're doing.
Well, that's the thing. It's just that, like, the only two characters that I think, the only two characters that I know of that cross over from the Arkham games into that one is Harley and Batman. So, I mean, I'm sure they're going to reference other things that have happened, but it's just like, there's no real, other than the little clues that you would get or little things here and there. There's not much that expands outside the universe. Like, they don't really talk too much about it. I think the only game that really expanded to other characters outside of the universe was more of the Arkham City game, where you had Nightwing saying like, I'm in Bloodhaven taking care of this thing over here, and and then there was different stuff that you would see like different characters here and there, but they didn't really go out and be like, oh, like here's a Superman cameo, and here's you didn't see Superman like flying across the sky or anything like that. So I look at it as it's its own game. And if you're looking for the story itself about Batman, it's contained in the Arkham games. That's the way I'm going to look at it.
I got something that's popped up on my feed. So, did you watch Echo?
I didn't finish it. I started watching it.
We're not gonna get. Well, I mean, we could talk a little bit about it if you want, but I just saw this budget numbers. So what do you think of the show so far?
I think it's pretty good. I think it's cool how she's kind of I think it's cool how she has her little moments of kind of she's doing a thing, and people are just kind of like, oh, like Maya, blah blah blah, and then just toggle her, and then when you see her kind of coming up, it was funny when she was like training and learning how to
Mhm.
fight. And then there was that one guy that came in wanting to start trouble, and then she obviously she can't say anything. So she's like, oh, you want to? And she said, she's like, you want to fight? She's like, come on. And then she beat the shit out of him. I was like, whoa. And I was just, I think it's been pretty good as far as the show itself. It's
Mhm.
gritty. It's tough. And
I'll
honestly,
say this: this should have been an introduction to her character before the Hawkeye show.
yeah, I think that would have been kind of better, just because the only problem is how the
I mean, the only problem is because I think since Kingpin is it's like
yeah,
his situation is
Kingpin's
after.
so he's in the hospital because of what happens to him at the end of Hawkeye with her. Okay, but I mean, then again, I mean, it's just if you, I don't, to be honest with you, as long as you don't show that, if they had cut that part out where it's just Kingpin just in the hospital and he's like, oh, he's and he's talking about getting his revenge and everything like that. I mean, I'm sure there's gonna be scenes that kind of that move forward where it's oh, well, you couldn't have shown this, but you could have shown at least the first half, I think, before to introduce her, and then the second half, anything that has to do with him post hospital, put that into a second half show, or it's just a short show. It's it's only gonna be 5 episodes or 3 episodes, or however long it takes. I think you could have done that. I think it would have been better to introduce her in that way, so it's we're not trying to fit, because if you look at the Hawkeye show, we're trying to figure out what's up with the tracksuit mafia. We're trying to figure out Kate and Kate Bishop and everything going on with her and her family and all the rest of the type of stuff in Echo. It's just
something else. There's something we're missing something. I had something else in there. Ronin.
No, what's the name? Swordmaster. It's you're trying to figure out all these different people in one show. It's just but if you give us a little bit in other places, if you gave us a little bit of an introduction, at least that's one character. I don't have to try to figure out more about them and figure out what's truly going on. Just because I found that watching that show, it was tough. Because it's I
forgot. It was Black Widow too. The new Black Widow.
Yeah. And you find a lot, you spend a lot of time just trying to figure out what's going on with just Swordmaster himself, because he's shady as shit. And it's what's going on with this guy? And he's trying to on the one hand he's cool, and then the next hand he's shady. It's just what's all this all about?
Yeah, he's acting dumb. He's is he dumb or is he smart?
Yeah.
What's going on? But to chime in really quickly, so you're saying it's positive stuff. The budget for this show, which makes sense because it's not a lot of CGI.
Yeah.
$40 million.
Yeah, and so they can be done.
That is the lowest Disney Plus show. So they basically proved that they could do it, and it actually could be pretty good. I wouldn't put it A+, but I'd say a strong B. But the budget for Secret Invasion and She-Hulk, which had some CGI, people need to remember, we had a lot of CGI in those. 212 for Secret Invasion. 225. So they had movie type budgets.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you the Secret Invasion budget probably was high because they had a little CGI, but the CGI wasn't really towards the end it was a lot. But when he was shape-shifting, that was just all right, cut. All right, next person. It was it's really simple stuff. But I guarantee you that was a lot of what's his name, Samuel Jackson's money, budget. I bet you he was his paycheck. Yeah. I guarantee he's 20 million. He might be 20 million or more into that budget.
Yeah. Well, the thing that happens too with that is that
I was impressed by those budgets. I just wanted to put that out. I was just impressed by how high these were, and they weren't loved as much. And then Echo, I think people like it better than those two.
Well, Echo they because Echo got the rub from the beginning just because everyone's oh, it's going to be violent. It's going to be TV. I mean, so it didn't matter what happened. The story could have been absolutely stupid, and people would have loved it because it was just it was a more mature product. So that's that. But the other thing is that when you're doing street level stuff like that, you can easily get away with it. It's not that hard to do it, and not spend crazy money. It's just the fact that they went to go with these big grand shows and these things that needed and required all this money to put on screen. So it's just am I saying we don't want those big shows? No, absolutely. Like you know, I want the big shows too, but it's just like, you know, if you think about it in a way of that, like what's going to be more effective, you know, and maybe you know you don't push everything towards a mature content, but I think that there's certain characters that do lend better to that, like something like if Moon Knight had a chance to be, I think, more gritty, people would have liked it more. And you do have that chance where you have that Jake Locke character that got introduced at the end. It's like you could do that but then you have to wonder if they're going to be able to afford Oscar Isaac to come back and keep it, you know, somewhat in the affordable realm, because he was a big CGI draw as well, like you know the suit and everything else and all the rest of that type of stuff. So it's just like it's kind of a weird situation that they're in, where it's just like, you know, you have to look at these things, you know, budget wise and see what they're trying to do.
And you have to make a hard decision of what if you want to do Disney Plus or if you want to do movie, because not saying She-Hulk and Secret Invasion might have been better as movies, but we don't know. I mean, they got movies, they got movie budgets, but would have been shorter because if you do a movie, those episodes, like if you make it into a movie, they're not as long, you know. Like I don't know how.
Yeah, I mean that would have helped Secret Invasion. I definitely think that would have helped Secret Invasion for it not to be as long. But I think that it would have helped it not to be as long because you couldn't have put as much stuff into it. But the thing was is that you needed it shouldn't have been just led by Samuel L. Jackson full out. Like you needed a few more things to make it like stand out as the actual Secret Invasion, because this was just basically a sad you know, it was just basically just kind of like it was an angsty teenager that grew up and got mad, and then just really didn't have a good outlet for anything other than to just cause trouble, just to cause trouble. It didn't really like do anything. It didn't solve anything. Like really at the end of the show, like what happened that made it like better? Oh, that really made you excited to see like what's gonna happen.
Yeah, it was basically he's just an upset kid, ended up being an upset adult, alien, and he's upset because the person who's promised him to find him a planet. He didn't think they were top priority to him, but if you're into science like me, you end up realizing that this kid needs to, or this adult now, alien needs to take a step back and realize, hey, to find a planet that's suitable for life that doesn't have life on it is very difficult.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Let's be honest in science that if that is the case, that's like finding planet Earth as it is now and no life, and saying, here, go live here, and hopefully, but that's
and then you know what happens? Xenomorphs pop out and eat everybody, because that's the reason why there's no life there. Like if you think about it, it's like
or like the winter comes and everything dies or something. You know what I mean? Something crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, it's very similar to like, and I'm not a huge Star Trek person, but I do know a little bit. And it's just like Khan, like on the TV show, you know, they got Khan at planet, and Khan was all grateful and it's like, oh, thank you, my friend, and then it turns out that planet that they put them on was no good, and it was all his people, not all of them, but a good amount of his people ended up dying on that planet, and that's why in the second Star Trek movie he was like, I'm going to take everything from you, Kirk. Like you killed everything I love, and I'm killing everything you love, and you know, so it's but yeah, it's either that, like you said, you know. Like it's suitable at one time a year and the rest of it is not, or there's some type of horrible thing that's down there that makes it seem as though, oh, there's no life here, or it's just in hibernation, and now you know, oh, that there's new things to eat. Great, we'll come out and eat you all, or something stupid. So that I think what was really tough because of the fact that they tried to cram so much in, and I think the other thing too is that I don't think they had a good understanding or idea of what they were going to do, because like they've introduced a lot of cosmic stuff, but they haven't really like full out gone there. Like I know that Guardians did a good job with it, and then like there's been other things, but it's just like, you know, the Skrulls and everything, like you needed more with that. Like and really I think
the Skrulls needed, I hate to say it, Fantastic Four.
Yeah, Exactly.
That's honestly what they were missing in Secret Invasion. But I kind of agree with Chef, but not as far as without Captain Marvel. Secret Invasion was basically whatever you want to put 1.5 without any of his superhero friends that besides the fake Rhodey. That let's be honest. Your boy is new Captain America. You got other things who are people who are still alive. Soon as they see Nick Fury and help with need that's getting blown up doing it, they would have called him at least.
Somebody would have done something
or showed up at least.
Yeah,
that's the part.
And that's the other thing. How
that's
is
the
it?
part I kind of agree with that, but it could have been.
Because that's true. It's just like, okay, this thing just happened. Like there's been because what were they? They were in England or whatever, and it's like, oh, okay, so now that there's been a huge like explosion in England, like what's being done about it? Like you would have had instead of fake Rhodey going down, like, oh, we're gonna look at this way. It's like there would have been heroes on the scene. Like there would have been some sort of response from the heroes to be like, okay, like what's happening here? Like you know, who do we have on the ground in London that can get to this and look at it? So it's just like it just was weird, and it's just like. You know, it's kind of one of those things. I think that it's academic. Like so, you go ahead, you look at it, and you like, we built this world, and there's all these heroes here, and it's just like, but then this thing happens, and none of them just come. It's just like, you know, it's just Nick Fury's on his own, and then he finds out how alone he really is when he gets betrayed by fake Rhodey and all the rest. It's like, oh my god, it's all there's nothing around me. It's all lies. It's like, come on, man. Like it didn't have to go that way, but
yeah. So that show had a lot going for, but I'm happy you were able to catch almost finish Echo. So I enjoyed it.
I just said something about Hulu because like
that's how you end up watching it on Hulu.
Because I
told you it dropped.
I was very angry with them. I was on the phone with the Disney Plus people for like an hour. And it just wasn't getting anywhere, and it was pissing me off. I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, I was like, "All right." I was like, "You keep trying to use this circular logic to me, like trying to tell me that I just need to change my password." And I'm telling you, I don't want to do that because I don't want to have to change it everywhere else. I said, I did not make this change. You guys did, and I feel like if I'm paying for this, like it should just be that I have, access to all the content. Like I, I'm like, well, yeah, but that's the thing. See, it doesn't have that, and you're supposed to go in there and change it yourself. And the only way to do it is like this way. I was like, but that doesn't make any sense. It's like, you change it on me. You can't change it back. Oh, it was getting like very like. I understand.
He was very frustrated, very mad, and like.
I won't do it.
I'm happy he was able to watch it on Hulu, but I'll say this: the Disney Plus. They do have a lot of issues. I'm going to put it like that. Reason why I didn't tell him about this to go into his story to kind of piggyback and tell you like the issue I have. So, me, my mom, and family all had a family plan through Verizon. If people know, Verizon offered. Then this said had.
Yep.
This is had. Verizon offered Disney Plus for free.
Yep.
Along with some other stuff for free, like Apple Music, and like they give you a lot of good stuff for free. So me branching off and having my own cell phone service was an issue for Disney Plus, and Verizon couldn't figure it out. So he called Disney Plus to see, and he was like, the guy was like, I'll put it like this: I wanted to have my own Disney Plus account because I have my own cell phone account. I wanted to have my own thing, just to, because just to have it, and I'll go to the end of the line being morbid. What if something happens to my mom and we close everything down? Now I don't have Disney Plus anymore because it's tied with her account, and he can't figure out how to untie it. And I'm like, but I have my own service, not with nobody attached to it. It's just my service.
Oh yeah.
like how can I not have my own Disney Plus? Well, you're still getting it for free. And I'm like, but you're not understanding.
Exactly. And that's what they do. They just talk you in a loop.
Yeah. So it's like, I think the only way for me to get it through Verizon would be me to cancel my service completely, start a whole new service with a new phone number, and then use a different email. I'd have to use a different email. Or I'd have to create a different email. We say it like that. I have to create a different email to use it for the Disney Plus. That's the only way in my mind that I think I can do it. But they were just like, but the Verizon guy was he wanted to, he couldn't figure it out. So he contacted Disney. And like you said, it was just like, there's no way of doing it. They couldn't do it. And the Verizon guy was like, man, he's like, he stayed on the phone because he was supposed to take his lunch, but he wanted to hear the outcome because he was curious.
Oh yeah,
he couldn't figure it out. And then when we finished with the Disney Plus guy because he couldn't help us, the other guy was like, the Verizon guy was very apologetic, and he was like, and I was like, I think the only thing I was upset about is we wasted my time and his time because dealing with the Disney Plus guy. Like we wasted over an hour, and we didn't achieve anything. Like I don't have my own Disney Plus account. I'll tell you that. I don't have it. But I have my own Verizon phone line. It's ridiculous.
It's very weird. It really is, and it's like, and I said to him, I was like, all right, you answer me this question because we kind of going back and forth, and I just had enough of him telling me the same thing over and over and over again. I was like, I don't care how many times you say it and what different phrases you use, you're telling me the same thing over and over again. And so I'm going to tell you the same thing that I've been saying over and over again because we're not getting to the root of the problem. The root of the problem is this. You have a button on, like if I go on to like I have it on my gaming consoles and stuff like that. So if I go onto one of them and I can sit there and say, and it can say change this or change settings, go here. I go there. It tells me I have to go online to the web. Why can't I just do it right from there? What's the difference? And I said, I'm the account holder. I'm telling you, I'm the person. I can give you any information that you need from me to tell you that this is me. Why is it that I can't make this change? Like you can't make this, like, so you made this change on your end in some way, shape, or form. I can't make the change at all because I don't want to change my password just because this is stupid. And you're giving me like there's no functionality for it. And the guy eventually broke down. It's like, I know it's really dumb. I don't know why they do it like this, but it's just the way it is. They need to fix this and it needs to be done. I understand that. But like right now it doesn't exist. I'm like, but how? I was like, okay, I understand that. What you're saying, because I was supposed to say, but how? Because I'm not going to go in the whole but how thing because you just answered that. But I was just like, it just if this is a service you're providing and you're going to make changes, you got to make it easy for people to go ahead and control their accounts and be able to do what they need to do with them because like this is ridiculous. I said, and I just don't like. I mean, the truth beyond everything, the whole reason why I don't want to change the password, because number one, I have this thing on like 4 or 5 different devices. My daughter's iPad has it. We have it on TVs. We have it on PlayStation. We have it on an Xbox, and then I think my mother-in-law has it as well. So it's just like, so we all have it in different spots. It's just like, if I change the password, then that's like 8 different things I have to change the passwords. And it's just like, it just becomes a big pain in the ass. So it's just like, why can't I just do it from here? And I'm just like, I can do it. Like I said, any other one, I can just do it on my own. I can go there, click a button, and then change it. Like if I want to restrict content, if I don't want to, I can just do it right like that. And it's like, yes, I understand, but that's not the way that we don't have, that's not the way that we're set up. I'm like, but why? When the architecture for the app exists that way, why wouldn't you do that? It makes no sense. So basically, I think that it's got to be like a contractual thing or some type of thing where they built their own proprietary thing and they just didn't build that function in, and they're not going to do that, I guess, is what it sounds like it comes down to. So with your thing, that's exactly what it is. They want you to go ahead and cut everything off, start all fresh and new, and then here you go. And then it's just like, and I think that part of that is to make you have to pay more, I guess, than when make you have to pay. Obviously, if it's free, you have to pay. And then they're trying to get you hooked into like some different type of content deal.
What's so funny is like originally for me, I mean, I would lose any grandfather stuff I would have, but it wouldn't change me what I pay for currently, and it wouldn't like my bill wouldn't change. Like nothing would change. But maybe I would get treated like a new person. I don't even know if I can do it like that, but I'm just saying that might be the only way. To answer He Who Remains question, I got a feeling they're gonna say Eternals happen like well after all of this stuff we've gotten.
Either that, or they're just never gonna bring it up again. It's like, don't worry about it. Because you know what's just funny is that's the sticking point with a lot of people. What about the big Celestials? Like nobody fucking cares. Like really, honestly, like I think that's their plan is to sit there. Like if I was Kevin,
but
Feige,
I thought they mentioned it in some. I thought they mentioned something in some show.
They did. I forget what show it was, but they did show the stupid hand popping out, and then that was it. They didn't say anything else.
I think they mentioned. I just can't remember. Callie says you can't fast forward and rewind properly on Disney Plus. I guess let me know what you mean by that, because I don't have an issue going back or forward. I don't know if you mean like a VHS or DVD. It probably but I don't.
If I was Kevin Feige, that's exactly how I'd answer that question. Like if you ask me like what about the big Celestial? I'm like nobody fucking cares. Like literally you don't care. I don't care.
Online, I'm old enough to remember getting a free cell phone every 2 years. Now the cost of phone is divided over the 2 years. My phone is paid off. But hey, also if that also goes along with, you remember when they said you had to tie to a contract? They said, we don't have any contracts, but the what you just explained is a contract. So you actually have a contract, but they don't call it a contract. I forgot what they call it, maybe a phone plan or whatever they call it, but it is a contract. Because it wouldn't be
break that within the first 2 years and see what happens.
Well, that's what I would say. It wouldn't be if all you gotta do is look at people like Sprint, and when they were saying, we'll get you out of your contract. You just come with us. So so it's
and that's exactly what it was. Because they knew a way to get you out of it without and there's a lot of stuff they used to do. There's a lot of companies used to do that crap. Like, we'll get you off of that, no problem. We can do that. And it's just and it's basically like a little buyout thing that they do, that the company would do with the other company. They'll buy out the rest of it, and then in some way, shape, or form, depending on the money, you may see a little bit of a charge that happens with that over your course of your bill, but usually if it's low enough, they don't care.
I gotta tell 5 a.m. Man, where you at right now, Michael Baker? 5 a.m. But take care, man. Appreciate you, man. Stopping through, man. But where you at? 5 a.m. No, but to go along with those contracts, what I was gonna say, this is also what they do, and it's like to entice you more to get it. So you're gonna get into a contract with the new phone that's gonna be like $1,200. So they'll buy back your old phone for like $800, but they don't give you it doesn't all happen at once. Which to me, I think you should get the $800 immediately. It should go towards the new phone, and that would make your new phone $400 stretched across. This is how they do it, which is weird. They take out for the new phone, and then after, I think they told me 3 months. I think it's 3 months. I forgot when it happens. But they start giving me the credit for the new phone. And I'm like, this makes no sense. So it's like, because they make it sound good at the beginning. You get $800. And you're like, we're going to stretch it across. We're going to stretch it across like a year and a half, but you got to wait a couple months before it locks in. And then you're going to be like, you're going to get like $20-something because they stretch it across that whole span. And then but they're still taking out, but you're still paying like $30-something. So it's like it's
exactly.
It's crazy.
And then actually, so I used to sell cell phones at one point. As much when I was much younger, I was.
That's true too. I forgot about that. 20. Yeah.
Oh no, this is a long time ago. I used to do that, and it was what was it? I was 20 when I was working at this place, and it was funny because I was like, working there and everything like that. And I remember they sat there and like, all right, so accessories. When it comes to accessories, here's what you can do. If you're getting a sale, you don't have to worry about that because they told you how much you got for commission for everything. So for like a phone charger, it was like $4 commission. For what was it, like a car kit? It was like $350 or something stupid like that. And then the actual like little case thing. This is a long time ago. This is when like the Nokias with the snake. was popular. So it's just like, for the little
that phone was great. I have to say, for how basic it was.
Yeah. Was awesome. But so the stupid little case that they gave it, like with the little pouch or whatever, basically, they would give you like $2 for those and everything like that. And they sit there and say, okay, now if you're doing a sale, you'll still get commission, but you don't have to actually go ahead and sell them. You can really, if you can get them to sell, perfect, more money, that comes in, you'll get commission for those. But if you want to throw those in as sweetness, you can. So I remember this lady that worked with my mother. It was like not too long after I started working there. She's like, I got a new phone, I got this thing and that thing, and then she's like, at the end of it all, they charged me and at the time, let's say it was like $300, which would have been astronomical, if you're getting a phone and everything else. But she's like, it was like $300. Like, are you serious? She's like, yeah. I was like, well, how much did they charge you for this thing? She's like, oh, for the case it was like $50, and then for the cockpit it was like $120, and then I was like, what? I was like, it's like, I was like, honestly, I work in the mall, like at this place that does cell phones and stuff like that. I was like, we're able to give that stuff away for free. She's like, what? Like the look on her face, she was so upset. She's like, for free? I was like, oh yeah. That's like basically, they only care that we sell the phones. They don't care about the other things. So it's like, if you wanted to, you could easily go ahead and just be like, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done. And you could easily just say like, yeah, I want this and that, and they'll give it to you. They won't worry about it. Maybe they'll sit there and say, okay, we'll charge you like $20 for all this stuff or something like that. We can basically negotiate that. She was so mad, but that's how it used to be, because it's like, oh, all these extra little things. But it was,
we'll get out the old people talk.
No,
shout out to Hero Rain. I'm just laughing because he put that comment about the 40 and the 44. I'm still laughing at that. Shout out to Sands dropping through and hit that smash that thumbs up button, sir. I hope the blank cover battles went well.
I was just pointing out that cell phones have always been kind of a racket. So
one thing I want to mention to everybody, they also dropped. This is like, I would say, pop culture related. At Universal Studios there in Orlando, they're going to be doing. I think it's called. Let me see exactly what it's called, because they're going to do Mario. They're doing Mario Land. They're doing. It's called Epic Universe. So that's opening in 2025. But they just released like concepts, like everything, what it's going to look like, some of the rides, the different parts of that new area. So y'all can check that out. It looks pretty cool. They're gonna have Super Mario World, Dark Universe, a Harry Potter, Wizarding World, Harry Potter, Ministry of Magic, and How to Train Your Dragon Island of Berk. So that's they can check it out. I just thought that was pretty cool, because I know we're taking my daughter to Super Mario Land in California, so hopefully this one is like bigger and better. I think it's going to have more land to work with, I'll tell you that. So hopefully it turns out well, and I'll check it out maybe in a few years after that, or maybe during that. But to transition from that, MegaCon is this weekend, which I think starts tomorrow. MegaCon starts tomorrow, right?
Yeah, Otto's down there from 3 minutes.
He's gonna be. The people are gonna be searching for Otto. They got a lot of people actually going to MegaCon. I would love to go, but it doesn't fall on a great weekend. It hasn't. And then with it flip-flopping all over the place the last 3 years, I don't know when I'll be able to go to it, but they need to settle on a date and stick to it, because that's why I love going to New Orleans Fan Expo and Dallas Fan Expo. They have their dates and they're kind of stuck. What you laughing at so much? Jeez.
It got me because I was just like, it was just funny sounding. So it said CNN popped up with a thing talking about Elmo the Muppet went on today online today and asked how everyone was doing, and the responses were painfully honest. That's what made me laugh. I was just like. I don't know how many people were sitting there just like, unburdening themselves to Elmo, or just being mean to Elmo or whatever. But
I think they're just telling the truth to Elmo, and it just people, and then they didn't realize, oh, we shouldn't have done this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Elmo became everybody's therapist today, which is kind of nice of the people at Sesame Street to let everybody know that that they're checking on you. But on the other hand, though, it's just like it was the thing that got me was like the responses were painfully honest. That made me laugh because I just wasn't ready to read that.
I would actually like to see. They got a guy who does Elmo on Instagram. I would actually like to see him look at those responses and play his Elmo voice because this is Elmo. Like if Elmo was like, I guess real Elmo would be like, so like you could say rated. I would say rated R, but it's not. This is Elmo if he's like he was just real and then didn't hold back. I want that guy to look at those comments and have a reaction. But
yeah,
I got a question before we probably get close to closing this. I don't know what else we have to talk about, but to go back on MegaCon, I'll mention a couple that I would love to attend. Not like not the ones that like I would like to go to. The like San Diego and New York for me, Comic-Con would be on that list, but those are like not Comic-Cons. Those are like just
those
those are just to me experiences. Those are experiences that I would love to have. But the two cons I would like to go to, that I haven't. One is MegaCon. The other one, since so many people are talking about it, actually would be Heroes Con. If I had to name three, the other one would probably be King Con that I've been hearing about for the last few years. So those probably be my top three that I would like to go to. I don't know if you have any that like you haven't gone to that you would like to go to, or hopefully like maybe one day in the future is on your list to go to. And I know one that probably I'll say it like this. I know one that would probably be a lot easier for you to go to, and I bet you I'm gonna guess it. Would be Heroes because your wife loves Disney.
Well, no, I mean,
Mega, because your wife loves Disney.
I don't know how that would work. Just because I don't think that really would matter. The problem with MegaCon would that like for me at least is like you said it would be basically a Disney trip, and I would end up paying so much money for the trip to Disney. And everything else.
That you would be like you probably
I would be broke.
You'd have tickets to MegaCon, but you wouldn't be able to do anything at MegaCon.
Yeah, I would be able to walk in the door, and that's about it. Like, okay, you gonna buy some comics? You get some stuff signed? Like, no, I can't. Like, my wife and daughter are enjoying the parks right now, and I'm just walking around this place and just being sad because I can't afford anything right now. But
what top three would you or in the chat can answer as well? The chat can answer what top three you would like to go to.
Yeah, and MegaCon would be fun. I mean, it sounds like it'd be a fun time. I'm not really. It's not one that I'm like, oh my god. I would say Heroes would be one. I've heard really, really, really good things about Baltimore, so I would say Baltimore would be another one. And then the other one would be if I had to guess. So Heroes, Baltimore, and then maybe Dallas. I don't know, because I've heard I always see the lineup for Dallas, and it's really just a lot of people.
I have to say, my first time going, Dallas was very, very good, and people say this is all the time.
Yeah, so I think those ones are the ones that I would probably want to do the most, just because I know that people have said of Baltimore that basically it's just like the it's really good for meeting creators, like they're just very creative heavy, and it's the same thing with that I've seen in past years as far as the lineups for Heroes is really good like that too. And I think that as far as the fan expos are concerned, that I think Dallas is probably like the biggest one. I don't know about other ones. Like I've seen other.
Well, MegaCon is a fan expo, so that's probably the biggest.
Yeah, that's what I think out of those ones. Like, so it's just like those I think are the three that I would look at. And like, all right, well, here's three that would be kind of fun to go to. And I think the most accessible one for me would probably be Baltimore. Just because the toughest part with that one is that they usually tend to do it like in October, I think, which is not really hard for me, but it's not really, it's not the easiest time to get going down there. But I don't know if I mean, I'm not sure what the hotel prices would be like and everything like that. But travel wise, it's not that bad. It's just like, you could easily just travel down there, no problem.
Well,
And then
another one I want to throw Monkey Wrench into and I might be saying the name wrong. What is it? Collectors Expo? What's the one that's in Dallas? But it's like one day of. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah. I mean, I know one that I would recommend to you that you didn't mention that it is a good show, and it's a really good time, and that would be Terrificon. Terrificon's a great one, just because it's again a lot of creators, a lot of really good artists, and just decent amount of celebrities, not a ton, but a good amount of celebrities, and there's like from all over. So you have like movie stars, voice actors, not as many as like you have a voice actor here or there, but there's a lot of movie stars. There's a lot of they actually get a pretty good amount of wrestlers that go, and then you have like TV actors and stuff like that. So it was really good. Actually, one thing I will say is that like last year's Terrificon, they had like a really, really good celebrity lineup. Like they had Rebecca Romaine there, what's it called, Mary Marvel. That girl is absolutely just stunningly beautiful. I couldn't believe how pretty she was. I was like, wow, this. I mean, obviously I've seen her in movies and stuff like that, but in person, like you think, in movies she's done up, and she was just wow. Like my eyes almost fell out of my head. I was like, that girl is very, very pretty.
Yeah, I would say, but yeah, those like I think the ones we mentioned are really because, and not to say this in a negative way, at Florida Con, I mean MegaCon, I would meet a lot of the Florida people who actually don't. A lot of them don't actually. Besides Hialeah, he does travel, but none of the others I know of that they leave the state. Besides, they had another guy. He didn't go to a convention. He was just taking a vacation. His name's Cookie. I forgot his name. Cookie. Just a Little Podcast. I met him outside of Florida. I met him in Florida, but I met him outside of Florida. He was like the only person. Him and he was the only person that actually met up with me in Florida when we were out there, and we did some comic book digging. And then when him and his wife came to New Orleans just for a vacation, we met up as well. So but a lot of those guys don't leave the state, so that's why I really want to go to MegaCon, because I could meet up with a lot of those guys, and MegaCon looked like it attracts other people from other states. Like you said, Otto's going to be there. I think Robert Galvin went last year. So there's a lot of people that can go there, but it has to be a good weekend for me. Yeah, it can't be a month after New Orleans Fan Expo. I'm gonna tell you that right now. For me, I can't.
I wonder if it's like February vacation for him, which is why he's able to go ahead and make it down there, just because because I think that his job outside of is being a teacher. So I think right now it might be a school vacation week, so he's able to kind of go and just take it off.
Well, I know here they're not off, but they're not working full days, but they have parent-teacher conferences Thursday and Friday. That's what's going on here. So Thursday, Friday, and then they're off the weekend, and I think they have early dismissal again on Mondays. Somebody was telling me, but that's what's going on here. So it could be like a little fall break. You could, probably is like what's going on with that. But like it has to fall on a good weekend for me. Like honestly, I would have tried my hardest to go to MegaCon if it would have fell the very next weekend. Because the very next weekend is Mardi Gras weekend. And we also get the Monday, Tuesday off. So I wouldn't have to rush to come home.
Well, see, here's the thing.
So I would have been, I could have been there Saturday, Sunday. Like, Saturday, Sunday, then I could have, me and my wife and daughter could have did something Monday and Tuesday.
You know what would have sucked though? If you were trying to go next weekend, like let's say they did do it next weekend, and I know why they wouldn't do it next weekend, because next weekend's the Super Bowl, and I mean, even though it's on a Sunday, that's fine, but like travel wise, and you can't. I mean, I understand. Oh, I'm not going to Vegas, so it's not going to be that bad. Bullshit. They know
it's
so travel's going to be whoop, through the roof.
I want to say that probably played a part in it. Super Bowl, but the biggest thing that played a part in it, because they didn't probably, I don't know if they thought about that ahead of time, because MegaCon is in Orlando. Orlando's Disney World Universal. The next weekend, like I said, for Louisianians and I think some Mississippi people, but I think more Louisianians, is Mardi Gras week. Well, weekend, like weekend and week. A lot of people from Louisiana, when I say a lot, because I had a plane full, go to Orlando during this time. Like next weekend, like doesn't matter, Super Bowl weekend. People come Friday, a lot of people are going to be flying out of New Orleans airport or another Louisiana airport and heading over to Orlando. Like that's a lot of them do that because that's our little break that other people don't have. And it's a good time for us to go to the parks. With the crowds might be not as bad because it is the winter time, and those are not a peak season. But for us, it's a peak season to go to to go. So that's another factor too. So it's like Super Bowl and that, and they're probably like, nah, we're gonna have it's gonna be stuff is too much there. So I think that two things played a part, but they need to settle on a date for MegaCon, in my opinion.
It's got to be because of those other things that that always kind of move it. Like that's got to be
last year it was the same weekend as the C2E2. They played They both C2E2 and MegaCon played chicken, and nobody played. Mm-hmm. So that's what happened with that last year. And then and the year before, they could have stick to the same time frame the year before. I don't know why, but they tried to play chicken with C2E2. They basically, they both made money, but they both cut the cost. Say they both made, let's say they both made $5 million each. But guess what? If they would have took different dates, they probably MegaCon would have made 10, and then C2E2 would have made 10. So that's they kind of both. But the C2E2, I think, moved to March or April. I think it's March.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with just like I mean, there's a lot of factors I think that go into it. So it's just like securing the people down. It's just because I think that sometimes can be a thing too. It's like, all right, we wanted to be able to get these artists or these celebrities in, and we couldn't because of XYZ thing going on. So if we move it to this week back, and then get these people to commit a year ahead of time to this, then we can be all right. So I think that's partly why it happens, and that's why they hop it around. But I mean, in terms of, I think MegaCon, I think because you have you have Mardi Gras, and then but also the Super Bowl happening right around that same time every year. So it's like we got to keep flip flopping it. So I think that set early
with them flip flops.
Is it always early in February?
No, I think whatever it was last year was like either March or April, and then I think 3 years ago was April. So like they've moved the date. The last 3 years have been different months.
That's good.
Yeah, it's been different months. So
it's like a couple weeks.
Yeah,
but
so it's kind of, I don't like that, and I don't know if they make that announcement. I don't know if they make that announcement right after the end of the show. You know what I mean? Like Monday, when the next show is. Because I think by Monday or Tuesday, I knew when New Orleans Fan Expo was going to be. Because I was like, man, is it going to be that close to Sugar Bowl? Sugar Bowl is January 1st. The first weekend of January is like January 3rd. Like you literally are right there. So I was like, man, I don't know if they're going to do it. So guess what they did? They moved it just a week. So instead of the first weekend of the month, it's the second weekend of the month, but it made sense. Sense. What's up, Bleak? Made sense. We're probably gonna be closing this out in a few seconds, Bleak, a few minutes, but yeah. So it made sense for them to move that just a week, and Dallas stayed around the time frame from last year, like the Dallas Fan Expo. Only thing with Dallas is it is hot as crap in June.
That's something.
Yeah, so that's the major thing. But But yeah,
I knew someone was gonna ask about it. I knew somebody was
gonna ask it, but guess what? We're not gonna talk about that.
I'll say this much about it. We didn't talk about it, but yes, I know and I've heard all about it, and it's just a crazy situation. Like there's really, I'll put it like this. If we were to even talk about it, we wouldn't do it justice. There's a bunch of other people who are, involved with wrestling and are much more into it than we would be. So I would, definitely recommend just going ahead and looking on YouTube and seeing who else has been covering it. Just I know like Jim Cornette's made comments, Dutch Mantella's made comments. Like there's a lot of podcasts talking about it. So go there if you want to get the real good information and not the stuff that like from what I remember from hearing different things. But yeah, there's a lot to get into with that. So absolutely go ahead and go on. I mean, but yeah, like I said, I know me personally, I can't really do it justice and really make it seem as though it's anything that is that I'm knowledgeable enough to say, oh, like this is what's really going on. There's a lot of people that I would say there's a lot of wrestlers who have made some sort of like Jeff Jarrett was on a show talking about different stuff. There's a lot of people talking about different things going on. So I mean, Jim Cornette knows him well, and there's a lot of people that knew him pretty well.
You can get a lot of better information or comments or talking about it from like Chris said from I haven't looked into it to even have a I don't even know what's going on. That's how much I looked into it. I really don't know what's going on, and I don't want to know honestly. I just want to.
Yeah, it's. I'll say this: like the Jim Cornette thing I listened to about it was good. The Jeff Jarrett one I listened to, and there was another one with the Jeff Jarrett one was kind of like he said what he could that made sense instead of just kind of giving a full out like one way or another opinion. Like he was good about it, and then the Dutch Mantell one was like he was just kind of like just hearing the allegations and like wow, this is pretty crazy. Like and then just kind of going along with what he's known of Vince and everything like that. So it's definitely a lot of different sources that you can look to for that. So that's what I would look for. Don't look to anybody who's talking an opinion. Look for actually people that were wrestlers that kind of are saying stuff, and then you'll get I think a better idea as to
better fact and opinion. I would say. We can comment on this though. The Rock. The reason why The Rock is involved. I don't think it has to do with the Vince as much, but you got to realize The Rock is a moneymaker.
Yes.
And in order for The Rock to be a part of this, to be a catalyst for their moneymaker, he wanted his negotiators. I wanted everything with the Rock. Smart move. I want to say that was probably he can use that freely, not worry about nothing. That was great, and he's getting paid, and he's getting part of the board. So he's got a win. So
he's on the board. He's also you have that stuff, but then you also got to look at it where it's just like what kind of synergy that we have with that, because on the one hand you have obviously, like they've been talking for a while about him coming back for a match with Roman. And so they're just like, well, we know that's going to make money. And supposedly the rumor with that is everything's up in the air for WrestleMania now because of the different injuries that have happened. So no one knows exactly what's going to happen. But there were rumors before the Royal Rumble happened that they were potentially thinking of holding off on The Rock versus Roman until the Saudi Arabia show, because they'll get a lot more money out of that, because they're just like, the Saudis will pay top dollar to see The Rock come back.
They would probably pay $1 billion. They have that type of money. They have that type of money.
And that's the exact thing
the WrestleMania, him doing the WrestleMania match and show would probably make more money. Not more money. I don't know. It'd probably be more memorable or more pop, whatever you want to call it, on the WrestleMania side. But the more money is the side you're talking about.
Oh, absolutely. That's the thing. So where it's just like, this would be great presentation if it's on WrestleMania. Yeah, But I mean, like they basically know straight, like it's like, you know, we can really make a lot of money. Like it might not be the presentation that everybody wants, but we will get a lot more money from, you know, the Saudi Arabian government and everything from that.
Put it
So
like this. Put it like this. Roman, and I hate to say it like this, Roman having this match would probably get him close to being a billionaire because that's how much money the Saudis would probably throw at it.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about, that type of money. Like we're talking about that type of money. Like you want to see Roman probably would retire, or he could retire because of the amount of money he would make, and I can't blame him.
And then the other thing that you know you look at with you know The Rock as well is that he you know the XFL, which is now merged with the USFL, so you have that synergy as well. So it's like if you can get TKO advertising or TKO to kind of if you can get that along with or TKO's marketing or whatever and everything else to kind of help drive interest into the USFL, that's good. Like that helps with business. And then who's to say that, you know, at some point they don't have some type of business venture between the two that makes them both money. So it's just like there's a lot that comes to The Rock, and then on top of that too, the star power of him being, you know, into Hollywood the way he is and everything. It's just like it's a no brainer. If you're TKO, like it's just like, okay, you know, you want the rights to your name, that's all. Yeah. That's easy.
I'll say this on The Rock side, like everything he hasn't touched on the movie side has been a moneymaker, but I'm trying to think of something on the business side that hasn't been a moneymaker. I mean, he's got the number one tequila, I think it's the number one tequila, or it might be it's up there.
It's there.
And then he's got the energy drink. Like it's tequila and energy drink are like I don't want to say top two, but I'll just say let's say top three in the world, both of them. Yeah. They're probably top two, I'm guessing, and that's just those two things. And dude, that's a lot. Like he probably be on the verge. I don't know if he's gonna sell his tequila brand or the energy drink brand. Yeah. I don't know if he will, but I'm guessing because somebody's going to offer him $1 billion. They probably already did. He probably turned it down. Yeah. I don't know. So yeah. I mean, what you call it? Conor McGregor sold his for hundreds of millions. How many? Like 800 million or something like that.
So I mean, the real thing that comes with it is that The Rock being on the board, he's got that vested interest in making sure that it's all good. But then The Rock being involved with TKO, especially if he's going to be like on the board and like really involved in it, it's just a license to print money. That's all it really comes down to. Is that it's a great move for them, absolutely altogether. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Oh, and I forgot about the other thing too that they had mentioned is the Netflix deal. So next year. Next year in 2025, the Raw is going to Netflix.
5-year deal? It's a 5-year or 10-year deal?
5-year deals with a possible extension for 10. So that's another reason why getting The Rock was a big get as well, because it's like, okay, it can go this way. So like if it's successful, they can just roll it out in the 10. If it's not if it's not, then they can just cut it off after. I think it's like they can cut it off after 2 to 3, depending on what's going on. But it's like, so you have that, and so Raw is no longer going to be on a network television anymore. But the other thing too, I don't know if they're going to move the whole WWE like so the whole WWE network itself onto Netflix or not, or how it's going to work. I know that Netflix is leading into that. Netflix is going to change. It has to. There's going to have to be some type of commercial for Raw, something like that. There's got to be some type of break where they're getting some advertising, and so
you know how they would do that. I think I don't know how they would do that. I don't know how they figure it out for a live event. I mean, honestly, if they could keep it rolling like a pay-per-view, I think they would do the commercials at the beginning and the end.
Maybe.
And the reason why I say I think they'll do it at the beginning and the end and they'll do it at the end where you can't exit out. Like once the show's over, it'd be like commercials showing, and you can't get out of it until the commercials are done. That's how I would do it. I'm like, but I think they might do it like a pay-per-view event. They might just just be straight out, like just keep like straight going, So I don't know. I don't want to. We'll see, because we got a whole year to kind of talk about it and see what happens. But yeah, that's.
If you have USA and you don't have a Netflix, just enjoy it while it lasts, because eventually it's going to end up. It's going to go on to there, and it's going to be interesting to see how that works out. Just because the biggest show is leaving television, which
you know what else we could expect from Netflix? You know what else we could expect from Netflix? Within this year, we're going to see another price hike. Because of that deal. So expect another $1, $2, whatever it is. Probably be another $1 increase.
Something like that.
Yeah, because when you look at it, how many people usually have just $1? It makes them hundreds of millions of dollars.
Oh yeah. It's just, if you, what was it? They have over 50 million subscribers, so it's $50 million off of.
I think it's more than that. I think it's like.
Oh yeah.
I think it's just like hundreds of millions.
Yep. Oh, we're gonna raise the price a buck. That doesn't sound so bad.
That's not so bad. And then you realize, that's an extra $200 million a month.
Yeah, it's crazy. I want to say, I think they said something like that. The deal itself is worth over $1 billion. Like it was something weird like that.
It's
billion.
And 50 is it 50? No, it's 100 million a year. No, more than 100 million a year.
No, it's more than that, because like I said, that they have that easy cutoff time. I think just in that easy cutoff time, it's $1 billion. It's a bunch more than what they were getting from Fox, and they were getting, I think, over 250 million a year for that. So like they're actually in a really good spot, and if they can extend that out for 10 years, like they're gonna be in a great spot.
I'm trying to remember what it is, like the money. Well, somebody broke it down, but it's a lot. It's $1 billion for the 5 years, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Well, Rock, he ain't got that money.
Because regardless of everything, they don't have that kind of money. Like if you get the money to buy Disney, that's when somebody needs to be kind of afraid and like, oh my God, somebody can buy Disney like that. That's crazy. I don't think that number exists. I think there's only 2 companies that can buy Disney. I remember somebody talking about this, like in the kind of type of show we're doing. Yeah,
and it was Apple. Apple was one. Actually, they said Apple was the number one that actually could buy Disney.
Yeah, and I think they said Blackstone or something like that.
Well, I think their investment. I don't think it's them, but I think it's like Amazon. I think it's Apple and Amazon wouldn't do it because they're doing their own thing. They're doing their own thing, and they don't need them. They said the biggest threat to buy Disney would be Apple, because they have good content, but they're not even in an infant stage of streaming. They're so far behind on streaming. They're behind of things like Paramount. For streaming. Like
the other thing too is that like what everyone doesn't understand about buying Disney is that like it's so much to buy at once, and then you have to like think about the physical. If they forget just like the streaming stuff, think about like all the physical things that you have to deal with. Like
and Disney wouldn't sell the whole company. They would sell the entertainment side if they sold anything.
And that's what I mean.
You got to realize their parks make like $3 billion a quarter.
Yeah, and that's what I was trying to say. Like if you would have, that's why when you're saying, "Oh, buy Disney," I was like, I don't think that number exists. Just because when you really think about like Disney, how much money they make, like it's just like you could never just straight up buy the whole company.
They shell out a lot of money, but they make a lot overall. When you look at the overall, now when you break them down, that's when it looks interesting. Like I said, the entertainment side. Yeah, that would get bought easily, and they would. I could see Disney selling the entertainment side. I really could, or pieces of the entertainment side. I could see them selling maybe what's the not Illumination? What's the freaking company? The Toy Story.
You're talking about Pixar?
Pixar. I could see them selling a Pixar or I could see them reselling Marvel or something. I could see them breaking stuff up or selling the whole entertainment side. They're not going to sell the parks. The parks make way too much money.
Exactly.
And the parks, even though Florida governor doesn't like them, the parks employ more than 50% of the
parks
Florida.
are what keep Florida running. I don't care what anyone tries to say.
Yeah, they employ 50% of the 50% of the workforce is Disney.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like, like it doesn't matter. Like,
and then when you include Universal, once they're open in 2025, it might be 75% work at Universal and Disney.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing that kills me. It's just like that's why, like, when you say like buy Disney, it's like if somebody, like, let's say somebody was had enough, some company or group of company, whatever, got together and had enough to buy everything that Disney, like, you'd have to kind of look at that, like, what the hell just happened? It just goes like they bought everything that Disney owns. Like Disney is, they have so much money that it's just like, I'd almost be afraid of them. These people are gonna try to take over the world. There's something wrong with this, because like nobody should have that kind of money just sitting around to buy something like as big as Disney. It would be like if you bought like all 4 sports. It's like, yeah, we bought the NHL, the NFL, MLB, and the NBA. We bought them all just because we wanted them. It's just like you could afford to buy all those. Like those are like you're talking about more than trillions of worth of money. Like, where did you get that from? So
yeah,
I know. It's he's a great businessman. I'll give him that. Yeah. Like, I mean, as much as a lot of people kind of thought that, like, oh, he's just The Rock, and he's just just a big wrestler, and he's not going to make it acting, and he did. And then on top of that, like he found his way into business and really took to it. Like he was a really smart businessman.
Yeah, well, and also he kept basically his core people around him, even though, like, one of his core people, 2 of his core people, his ex-wife, is basically the president or CEO of all of his companies. I forgot exactly what she is, but she does all of his deal. I think she's his agent as well. I think, like, I forgot. Yeah. It's like she, and this is his ex-wife. His ex-wife's husband, which was his best friend, which is weird, is like, he's like CEO of a couple of companies, like that he's involved. So it's like, like, even though he didn't have I would say a physical relationship with these people, like what his wife really anymore, he still has a business relationship, because he knows these are the smartest people around that he had around him in the past and currently in the present. Like, his wife go, like, if you ever notice when he does those deals, like the TKO one, Dana Garcia, she's there with him, and he makes sure she speaks as well as him.
Yeah, because she's very smart, into it. She knows what she's doing,
she's very smart.
And really, the best part I think about being The Rock and just having an involvement.
She got him into the energy drink.
Yeah. Oh, just everything. Like, having an involvement with anything. It's just like, the Rock can go into anything. That's why he's always so happy, because he can go into anything and know that I'm doing you a favor right now. Like you realize that me showing up is helping you out, and it makes me feel good that I'm doing that. Like, he did the announcement for last year in the Super Bowl for both teams. It's like, he didn't do that just because, I'm just in LA, it's gonna be fun. Like, no, I did that to help the NFL out, because that's what I can do to help people.
Well, yeah, and also help the XFL out too, because that's why I said he has a good partnership with them, with his football league, and I think eventually which is not a bad thing, I think it will become the NBA, like the NBA G League. I think that's what his brand will become for the NFL, which is not a knock, because those guys are still making 6 figures to play a sport. Again, they're making 6 figures to play a sport, and it's not the whole year. Like, they can have another job and then come here and like make $100,000 or more, depending on the contract.
And that's really cool when you think about it too. Where it's like, I mean, think of it, if you have a guy who
say it like this: if me and Chris, to go along with you probably about to say, if this was around when we were younger, I probably would have went full throttle more into stuff and been like, hey, at least I might have a shot at this if I don't make this. Just saying.
I mean, think about all the guys in college that just, it's just like, I I'd like to keep going, but I don't. You know what I mean? Like that there's only a certain amount of teams, and none of them call me for a draft. It's like, well, you know what? Now you have an extra opportunity to try to get in there and see what happens, and maybe you do impress somebody, and maybe you do get moved up to maybe a practice squad, or even I'm on the team. Like you know what I mean? It's something that didn't exist before, so it's really cool.
Yeah. So, well, I don't want to keep everybody. And we had a big turnout at one point. I think we had like 14 people in here at one point.
There we go.
So if you watch this on a rewind and you get to this part, I appreciate you guys. Thumbs it up. Like I said, leave some comments of the cons that I would love to know. People who watch it.
Yeah.
Conventions that you would love to go to, like on your top 3.
Yeah, call it convention wish list. Like you wish to go to.
Yeah, convention wish list top 3 on your wish list. You can have San Diego and New York. I just excluded them because I wanted to think of, those are like on my epic wish list because I know how expensive it would be to go to those. But I would like to know, man. I'm really curious to see if people would know. I think I saw Chef put he's probably going to be going to. What did he say? I missed it. I saw it earlier. He said event he might go to King Kong. He said, right.
Yeah.
He said he'd probably go to King Kong this year. So Chef, I think Chris was going, so you'll probably see Chris.
Yeah, I'm planning on doing it. I haven't gotten the hotel yet. It's coming up.
Yeah, I would definitely put that in the chat. I'll be doing my giveaway. I forgot my daughter has soccer practice, her first soccer practice ever tomorrow. So I'm going to try to run this giveaway because I have it all set up already. I have the time. Probably got to do it. Probably got to do it Friday. I might just do it Friday after work because that'll be my best time to do it.
There you go.
I think that'd be my best time to do it. No, we have a parent-teacher conference. But Friday is still going to be my best day to do it after that because I'm not working. I don't work the weekend, so I'll probably push that to Friday for the giveaway.
Hey, look, if Friday gets too hectic for you, if you say you don't work the weekends, just maybe do it on a Saturday. Nice, easy, easy day if you have the time.
Yeah.
If not,
Friday will be easy after I'm done all this stuff because then I have to worry about nothing going on. I have to worry about going to sleep for work or nothing like that. But yeah, so just be on the lookout for that. If you enter the super chat giveaway / channel member giveaway, I actually have it all set up for the wheel. We'll do that.
There you go.
And I'll ask the chat like I normally do. Whoever's in the chat, I'll try to get you guys to give me like numbers to mix it up. I do it like more than I would say more than 3, but no more than 10. And usually the first person to give it to me, that's how I'll do it. So we'll spin that off and give away those 2 slabs. So that's what I got going on. Also, I think I'll be on. I don't know if it's this weekend. I got to check with him, but I'll also be on Robert Galvin's show soon.
Oh wow.
It's Saturday during the day show.
Okay.
Yeah, because he switched it up. He doesn't do the late one anymore. I'm supposed to be on there. I think it is this weekend because I think next. I know. Next, I think the weekend after he has somebody else. Plus, I wouldn't be able to do it. So he'll confirm that later. So that's what I got going on, and whenever Chris wants to do it, we're gonna probably do a pop-up sale, or he could just wait like me, Bleak, and I think Biggie. We might do it just on my channel when we do the monthly auction. It doesn't matter.
We'll see how February pans out for me.
Yeah, because the monthly auction is only. When you look at the date, it's like 3 weeks away. Yeah,
it depends on what I have going on. Just because
February for me is 2 weeks away.
So February for me is a little bit. It's more I would say congested than you would think. Just because we have my sister's birthday and my mother's birthday in the same month, and then they're also doing a comic crawl. I want to say so. We're doing a comic crawl in the end of the month around on the 24th. So that's kind of
Well, yeah, I'm shooting for the 17th for the show.
Yeah, we'll see. Because
we'll talk about it, but we can always do a pop up. But I don't know when we'll do it. I know Friday Sands has his normally sale on Fridays. I should be there. So yeah, that's what I got going on. I'll do. Oh, I got an unboxing too, a CGC unboxing. As long as they come in on Friday, I'll do that really quickly. It's a pre-screen 9.8, so I won't be hiding the grades because if it came back slabs, it's a 9.8 or better. So I got that. You got anything else going on, Chris, besides us maybe doing a pop up and I think Sunday with Bleak.
No. Sunday's Church of Bleak, and it's that's pretty much what I have happening this week. Actually, so for this week, the Church of Bleak is going to be one I can do because the next week with it being the Super Bowl, I have my friends have a Super Bowl party, so I'm going to be probably spending the entire day up until I end up going to watch the game cooking because I'm like, you know what? I had this wonderful idea to try to make some Chicago. I'm going to try my best to make a Chicago deep dish pizza. So we will see how that works. And but from everything I've been watching, it's something where it's just like you need a couple of hours to get everything prepared and ready. So I don't know if I'll be able to hop on the church and kind of hang out and do that stuff until.
Yeah, I probably that weekend it'll probably be hard as well for me.
Just because you gotta figure everybody's trying to get themselves together for the game and everything. Yeah. So,
but I'll try this weekend. Next week it'll be hard, but
yep.
Yeah, definitely check us out on that. Whenever his books come in from CGC, he'll do an unboxing.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Just because I don't have high hopes. I don't think it's going to be back until I'm really, really optimistically hoping that they come back early March. If not, then I can absolutely see them coming in April. And if not by April, then I don't know. I may have to go down to Florida and be like, "Where's my fucking books?" So, just because I see them doing other signings with other people for other things, and it's like, "Oh, goody, where's my stuff that happened months ago?"
Yeah. So
anyway.
We'll see what happens. We got some stuff. Eventually, will come back. Besides the stuff that is not signed for me. But yeah, appreciate everybody tonight, Chef. Was it Callie was in here? He Who Remains, who had some good comments. Sands popped in. Michael Baker stayed here long. And Tony Sanders, he popped in. Splash.
Yep, Splash.
Emmy and Kenneth. Kenneth was actually the first person to comment. So appreciate everybody stopping through. Longer show than normal, but we talked about a lot, surprisingly.
Yep.
So, but I appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys, and I'm what's the time frame? Actually, no. We won't see everybody in 2 weeks because I won't be available. But we might just push it to if Chris is available on the 21st, we'll just go to the 21st and then start back up from there. But 21st or the 28th will come back. So look for graphic content again. And if you ever want to be a part of a graphic content conversation, hit me up, Chris up. We would love to have you as a guest and just chat it up with stuff we talk about. It's always fun to chat up with people, friends of the community. That's what I like to do when Bleak pops in, or when we had Jeffrey Comic-Con. That was fun. I appreciate everybody. If you do want to, just hit one of us up, man. And that's all I got. So peace. Y'all have a good rest of the week.